The Twitter Rupert Murdoch endorsed Rick Santorum.
I could see him doing that just to be annoying.
Maybe
Look, he's sitting there on a boat in St. Bart's and everybody's blowharding about, stuff. And he says, that's exactly the kind of thing he might do. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to NewsBeast. We have with us Leslie Bennett and Gary Rivlin, and we're about to choose our cheats. Leslie.
Well, I think Ron Paul's latest admission that he actually doesn't see himself in the Oval Office is both his strength and his weakness. Nobody really thinks this guy is going to be president, and yet he has shown amazing tenacity and strength, certainly in Iowa, because I think he just seems like an authentic human being. Whereas with Mitt Romney, he's been many different people and promises to be many more. And I think those two polls represent, what the voters are trying to figure out.
But it's a pretty low bar.
It is a very low bar.
All you have to be is real. If you are authentically mad or authentically ignorant, is that better than just being,
or authentically uninformed,
or
as so
authentically
many of them
uninformed?
have proven
This is
to
really
be.
what we've seen all along. People are grasping at authentic, but it doesn't seem that knowledge, being having interesting opinions, any of that is relevant. How about you, Gary? What have you chosen?
So this is a crazy, scary story. So there were a series of small earthquakes in Ohio. Scientists have been trying to figure out why. It turns out that the best theory now is because of fracking, that the drillers were throwing so much water and waste into the ground that was causing, near a fault line, that was causing trebling. And in a way I find this really encouraging, because this is such an important issue. Scientists, the EPA, no one has come up with a final conclusion, but it's clear it's causing some problems with drinking water. It's clearly causing some problems with methane gas being released in the atmosphere. We should be talking about this. We should be debating this, but we're just moving ahead. We're so desperate for jobs that we're just moving ahead with something that could be really, really dangerous.
Yeah, no, until there's some huge explosion, we won't pay any attention.
And the media is doing a terrible job. When NBC debuted 30 Rock, Brian Williams' new show, they did a whole rosy piece about the job creation in North Dakota with the pipeline and all these, how good it is for the economy. And they never mentioned fracking the whole time. They never mentioned, there are people like environmentalist Bill McKibben saying, if this stuff goes through, it's game over for the environment. The implications are so enormous. And I think people just aren't paying attention.
Well, the environmental lobby has, I think, taken a huge hit because of the economic crisis, right?
Right.
It's almost as if they've really been overridden.
People feel like they can't afford to worry about whether we're going to destroy our future.
God, it's all yet another horrendous thing to be worried about. I'm, choosing something that I just find completely delicious, which is the murder victim found on the Queen's estate in Sandringham. Just in time for the new series of Downton Abbey, we have a murder on the Queen's estate. A woman has been found. It's delicious. And, the royal family have had a fantastic run in the last year. This murder is the kind of wonderful cream on the cake for them, in the sense it's kind of interesting, mysterious attention that doesn't affect anybody in the family. Prince Philip had a heart attack over Christmas, so the whole nation then grieved and worried about losing the great Prince Philip. Now we have a murder. I just think this has been a great run. Now we've got the Jubilee coming up in May, and it's going to be an absolute A-list year for the royals.
Where is Agatha Christie when you need her, though?
Well, no, but see, if I had read this in a P.D. James novel or seen an Agatha Christie, I wouldn't have believed it. It's like, wait a second, they have cameras. How can there be a body?
Is there no security at the Queen's estate?
Well,
one of her
jumping body.
And that the policeman who's found her, it's going to be, PC Plod, of Scotland Yard. Well, there'll be a botched investigation. It's going to be great. You wait. This is going to be a good story. So now we turn to our obsessional, which is, in fact, Rupert Murdoch's new Twitter account. Or is it his Twitter account? What do you think, Leslie? There's now some doubt that it's a real Twitter account.
I think everything is just moving too fast for, we all jump on these things, and the question becomes, is this true or is it not? And Wendy says, oh no, it's not, and is it verified and is it not? But I think the more interesting question that stays with you longer is that all of these things give everybody too many opportunities to embarrass themselves and to be uninformed and to create crises and scandals that in a more measured environment wouldn't have existed, which can be, very entertaining, but is really troubling when you transpose it to the political arena.
It accelerates rumors, it accelerates bad news getting out there. I think we're generally uninformed as a country, and this is helping to uninform us. I think what's just so interesting is that Rupert Murdoch's account has been verified by Twitter, and there's some doubt that it's his account. Wendy, his wife's account, was verified by Twitter, and now that's clearly not her account.
Don't you think it could be kind of delicious if they'd been hacked into? I mean, wouldn't this be a kind of wonderful thing if Rupert Murdoch's own Twitter
Talk
account
about poetic
had been hacked
justice.
into? That would be. I mean,
Couldn't
where
be
is Nick
better.
Davis of The Guardian?
Right.
I mean, he needs to investigate this immediately. But you know, reading some of these tweets from the alleged Rupert, I don't think it is Rupert. I mean, I know some people keep saying that it is, but this doesn't sound like Rupert to me. I mean, this is not a guy who plugs Fox News shows. I don't think that he's ever watched Bob Becko's show in his life. You know, liberal Bob Becko and team, great replacement for Beck, and much more fun. I mean, this doesn't sound like Rupert to me.
He endorsed Rick, the Twitter Rupert Murdoch endorsed Rick Santorum.
Yeah.
Rupert Murdoch.
I could see him doing that just to be annoying.
Oh, really?
I mean, Rupert likes to be provocative.
Sure, but he's
you know,
so pragmatic.
maybe
it's
he's
the
sitting
most-
there on a boat in St. Bart's, and everybody's blowharding about stuff, and he says, you know, that's exactly the kind of thing he might do.
Okay.
Actually, to
Maybe
say,
it's
you
the
know what,
most original idea that the Santorum campaign has had in months.
I think it just represents his boredom. You know, with his boredom with his vacation. You know, he's sitting
In
there
the
in St.
Caribbean.
Bart's in the
In the
Caribbean.
Caribbean,
Final word of the day. Leslie?
Authenticity.
Silence.
Hack.
You win.
Goodbye.
God, I had not even thought of that. What if he was hacked on? Oh,
that be
that's so
funny?
delicious. It should
Yeah,
be.
it should
It has to be.